Hello everyone and welcome to the Bandit Reloaded Racing League. Back here at Martinsville. The Bandit Reloaded Racing League Ring of Fire 125 tonight here at Martinsville. All these guys, or almost all these guys, have music-themed paint schemes, if you'll notice. Right now we're looking at Jonathan Platt. First thing you need to know, Jonathan Platt is in the number 42 car. Supposed to be in the number 42 car, but he is going to be showing in the 4 Busch Light car. So the 4 Busch Light car is going to be Jonathan Platt. A little bit of trouble there. And then the number 4 Kiss car is going to be Trey Ellis. So Kiss car, Trey Ellis. And the Busch Light, Jonathan Platt. So we're looking at Nick Nickerson go around the track now in the number 2. Oh, getting a little bit loose there for him. We have 30 seconds left in practice. Now let's take a look at our current practice results. Nick Nickerson, quickest so far with a 19.257, followed by Ricky Hart Jr., Jonathan Platt, and Kevin Foster. You see those results there. If we look at our weather tonight, it's a clear night, 65-degree air temperature, 68-degree track temperature, not too hot. Only 1% humidity. And only 2 miles per hour of wind here in the sim. Look at our track map for Martinsville and our track info. That is why this place is called the Paperclip, as you can see there, here in Martinsville, Virginia, USA. 0.49 miles, just barely under a half a mile racetrack. 4 turns, 12-degree banking in those turns. So as practice is over, those are going to be your final results. These guys are about to head out to qualify in the Ring of Fire 125 with the Bandit Reloaded Racing League. Like I said, the number 2 car of Nick Nickerson, going to be your fastest car in practice. It's Willie Everham, going to be one of the first drivers out on the track. The number 19 NOS Luke Combs car, got Luke Combs on that Camaro tonight for our Ring of Fire music theme. Let's see who can put down the fastest time so far. No lap down yet. Willie with the first lap down. Quickly taken down by Platt, though, in the 42, or Platt. Ricky Hart Jr. with a fast time. Willie Everham beating him out, back to the pole. Right now sitting on your pole is going to be Willie Everham. Looking at Ricky Hart Jr., your current points leader. You see the 29 of Robert Mathis. Is going to be in an NSYNC Mustang tonight. There's the 35 of Wesley Fuller. Number 13 car of Garrett Hall, the Backstreet Boys Mustang. While these guys are going out for practice, let's look at our point standings after last week at Las Vegas. So currently, leader in your points, of course, the number 64 car of Ricky Hart Jr., 278 points, well out in front of the number 2 car of Nick Nickerson, and just making that gap even larger. Ricky Hart Jr. and Nick Nickerson both have fairly good gaps to the guys behind them. Garrett Hall and Brandon Jackson, though, in 3rd and 4th are fairly close. Nick Nickerson's definitely going to be looking to close that gap to Ricky Hart Jr., and of course, Hall and Jackson in 3rd and 4th are definitely going to be trying to work their way in there, as we still have a good bit of a season left to go. As you can see, page 2 of our points all the way down to 27 spots. So there's now 2 minutes left here in qualifying. Only a couple cars on the track. There's the number 4 car of Trey Ellis, the number 4 Kiss Mustang. So right now, Ricky Hart Jr. sitting on your pole, which surprisingly is a little bit strange. One of the only places that he has not dominated. He hasn't dominated qualifying. He's dominated the races, but a very fast lap from Ricky Hart Jr. got him sitting on the pole with a minute 20 seconds left here in qualifying at the Ring of Fire 125. Second place is the 8 of Kevin Foster, followed by the 19 of Willie Everham and the 29 of Robert Mathis. So you've got 1 minute left. A couple of guys that haven't posted a time, but we'll see. They definitely still have time to do it. But we'll see if they jump out there. If they do it, they're going to have to make their move right now. See, behind the mic tonight, my name is Evan Wall, here at Evan Wall Media. Also behind the mic, we're going to have race director Brett. I'm sure he'll be hopping in here before long. He's run a couple of practice laps. He knows what this car feels like, and he will be the acting race director for tonight, as he is every other night. So we'll definitely get some great input from him once he joins us just a little bit later. "20 seconds left, and the time counting down. Looks like Ricky Hart Jr. is going to hold on to your lead. There is no one on track right now. So this is going to be your grid. Ricky Hart Jr. starting on the pole. On the outside of him is going to be the number 8 car of Kevin Foster, Willie Everham, Robert Mathis, Jonathan Platt, Trey Ellis, Wesley Fuller, Garrett Hall, Nick Nickerson, and Bill Harkins to round out your top 5 rows. Row 6, James Healy and Matt Crockett, Terry Condis and Colin Bauer, Brandon Jackson, Tyler Rowland, Brett Guzik, and Paul Butler. Brett Guzik, of course, is not going to be racing, but that is where he would grid. So let's look at usually the number 64 car of Ricky Hart Jr., of course. Points leader. He's dominated a whole lot of these races. The one race that he didn't win, he was up front. Still ran a great race. He's going to definitely try to do the same thing here at Martinsville. Last week they put a bounty out on him to try and beat him. Nobody could do it, though. Ricky Hart Jr. coming up with, I believe, was his 5th win last week. He's going to try and go for 6 here tonight. I believe that's the correct number. I'm not exactly positive on that. There you see Kevin Foster. Next to him in the number 8 car. There's a good view of all our guys down there. You see all the music paint schemes, of course. There you go. You can get a good view of the whole field. Got a little bit of Luke Combs and then Willie Everham 19. You got the KISS car with Trey Ellis. See the 35 of Wesley Fuller. He's running a different paint scheme tonight. I can't see yet who that is. He's running a different paint scheme. We got Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. Whole bunch of different guys. Different musical artists. Getting ready to go green here. These guys are still gridding. They should be ready to go any second now. Pace car should be heading out. And there goes the pace car. These guys moving. I see now Brett has joined us. Brett, you ran some practice. How'd the car feel? Can you tell us anything about how it felt during practice and any expectations for how this race is going to go?
What I've noticed out there just from the seat of the pants feel, the tires wear out pretty quickly. I feel like over the long run these tires are going to wear out. The car's going to generate a bit of understeer. The car's not going to turn as well through the in and through the center of the corner. And if you have the wheels cranked at any point while trying to get in the gas, you may spin out on exit. The big thing here is going to be tire wear. If we do get some long runs, but it should be, it seems like it's going to be very difficult for these guys to stay off of each other in such a small area. So we may see quite a bit of action here, especially with damage and everything like that.
Definitely going to be an action-packed race here tonight at Martinsville. These guys will have one fast repair, if I'm correct. The pace car dives off onto pit road, and the 64 car is going to lead us to the green flag. '64 car, Ricky Hart Jr. leading us to the green flag. And they're off. Kevin Foster in the number 8 car on the outside, but Ricky Hart Jr. getting the lead. Number 19 of Willie Everham trying to stick his nose under Kevin Foster, see if he can make a move there for second place, and he's going to be able to, but he's going to get loose sliding up the track. The 42 car is going to take advantage of that, or on your screen, Busch Light number 4 car is going to be able to take advantage of that.
Got a little bit of a wreck here out of 2. Looks like Robert Mathis and another car got together there.
Let's see if we can see what happened. We'll head to an instant replay. Looking at the number 29 of Robert Mathis, just a little bit of a bump from the 4 of Trey Ellis. Not too much damage, I don't believe. Mathis right now running in 11th position.
One car taking advantage of all of that is Nick Nickerson. He's up to 4th place, started at 9th place. He took advantage of those early get-togethers and has managed to move his way up as he runs behind Wesley Fuller, as he makes the pass into 3.
All the way up to 3rd position for Nickerson. Meanwhile, Ricky Hart Jr. still out front, of course.
Generally, we see Nick Nickerson qualifying up at the front. It looks like he might have made a mistake on his qualifying lap. He qualified down in the 9th position. Usually we see him qualifying a little bit better than that. We'll see if he can dig his way up from the back and ultimately try and capitalize on opportunities.
May have this is a little bit different from normal. Normally you see Nick Nickerson up front and then Ricky Hart Jr. qualifying in the back, and Ricky Hart's the one working his way up through the field. The roles are reversed tonight. The battle right here for 10th. Not much of a battle anymore. Number 14 car of Colin Bauer. I don't recognize that name. I believe he's new. Taking the 10th position away from Terry Condis. 43 car of Tyler Rowland trying to take the 11th position away from Condis, and he's going to be able to do it. Now the 39 of James Healy to the inside. 39 not able to make the pass, but you can see the 11 of Bill Harkins. It's going to be behind Healy in the pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon Evan Wall Media Design car. 32 is going to be around. Caution flag is going to be out as the 32 and the 14 go around. We'll head to an instant replay, see if we can see what happened here. We're going to be following the 14 car of Colin Bauer. Just gets a little bit loose there and goes around. The 32 trying to avoid it goes around as well. Not too much contact. I don't believe any contact for the 14 car. A little bit of contact for the 32. I believe Bill Harkins hit him just a little bit, but shouldn't be anything too bad. We're under caution now here on lap 12 of 125 at Martinsville. Ricky Hart Jr., your leader. Followed by the number 4 supposed to be the number 42 car of Jonathan Platt, the 2 of Nick Nickerson, 35 of Wesley Fuller, now heading on pit road. See, on pit road we have the 35 of Wesley Fuller, as well as the 11 of Bill Harkins. 10 of Matt Crockett was on pit road, as was the 8 of Kevin Foster, and the 14 of Colin Bauer just heading off. 32 of Terry Condis also heading off pit road, as is the 29 car of Robert Mathis. .32 car of Terry Condis. Not exactly sure what happened there. Let's head to an instant replay, see if we can see. Looks like he may have shifted incorrectly there and just spun right around into that outside wall. Very unfortunate for the 32 car. A great deal of damage to the front end. May have to go ahead and use his fast repair. At least he is going to get one, though. See the 29 car ducking onto pit road. The NSYNC Mustang. Lights are off on the pace car, so that means that we will be going green this time by. Ricky Hart Jr. choosing the outside line. Jonathan Platt on the inside. Pace car is off. They're coming around to the front stretch. 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. is off. And a big jump for Ricky Hart Jr. diving down in front of Jonathan Platt, who's able to secure second position. Nick Nickerson clearly in third place on the outside, and behind him the 19 of Willie Everham. These guys have single filed out very quickly. Only lap 16 of 125, so everybody giving plenty of room. First double file racing back here at Garrett Hall and Tyler Rowland. The 43 Chick-fil-A car of Tyler Rowland diving inside of the number 13 of Garrett Hall, and he's going to make the pass. Behind them, you have to go a little bit further to see some double wide action. Bill Harkins diving deep into the corner, passing the number 10 car of Matt Crockett. He's going to push up. Not enough that Crockett can do anything about it, though. Bill Harkins with a really good pass there. Go back a little bit more of the 32 of Terry Condis, a little bit wide on that corner. You see he's missing the front end from where he got into the wall. Just really unlucky crash there. The 14 of Colin Bauer going to be heading to the inside of him in the Beatles Camaro. Very simple paint scheme there. He's going to get the spot. It'll be 14th for Bauer. Condis all the way back to 15th position. Heading back up to the front, though, Ricky Hart Jr., still your leader. Getting pressured by the number 4 car of Jonathan Platt. Number 2 car of Nick Nickerson, not far behind either. Definitely a good little battle here for your lead. And pull the graphic up on screen. Ricky Hart Jr., followed by Platt, Nickerson, Everham, and Ellis. All these guys fairly close together. Some good short track racing here. You see Ricky Hart Jr. dive into that corner. Platt taking a little bit of a higher line. Neither one really helping, though. We head back a little bit. Brandon Jackson's number 99 car, now up to 5th position. Oh, and a little bit of a problem for Trey Ellis in the 4th. Let's go ahead, go to an instant replay, see if we can see what happened for Ellis. He was on the outside, fighting on the outside. A little bit of a contact with the 13 there. Had to check up to avoid getting into the wall and lost a couple spots because of it. That's what happens when you get on the outside here. This racetrack can be multi-groove, but not really. It's really hard to race double file at this racetrack. Personally, myself, I was a little bit surprised to see Ricky Hart Jr. taking the outside lane on the restart. But it definitely worked out for him. Yeah, this racetrack is just one of those tracks where you get out on the outside lane and you're kind of stuck out there. There's not too much that you can do. Especially when this is going to be a race of tires, only 24 laps into a 125 lap race. You're really going to want to save these tires. See Ricky Hart Jr. still your leader. But Platt and Nickerson are not giving up on the lead. All of them right there trying to capitalize on any mistake by the number 64 of Hart Jr. And knowing that they're in a good position if anything should happen. Let's take a look at our other ticker that shows us the gaps is Nickerson trying to make a pass on the number 4 car of Platt. Platt driving really hard into the corner. Side by side down the backstretch, Nickerson and Platt. Only lap 27, but they're racing hard for that second position. Letting Ricky Hart Jr. pull away a little bit. Nickerson's going to have the nose. As they dive down into turn 1, Nickerson should have the advantage. Platt up high on the outside lane. Nickerson's going to have it as they enter the backstretch. Nick Nickerson up to second position. Platt down to third. Willie Everham in fourth. Ricky Hart Jr., though, still your leader. He doesn't have as big of a gap here as he does at some tracks, though. And Nick Nickerson's trying to close that gap, as you can see. Nickerson should have had a better finish last race than he did. Unfortunately, got caught up with a penalty. If he hadn't got that penalty, I can imagine that he would have been battling for the lead at the end of Las Vegas last week. Definitely going to want to make up for that this week, as he is still second place in points, but lost a fairly good amount to Ricky Hart Jr., who has won every single race this season except for one. You see Nickerson now on the back bumper of Ricky Hart Jr. Going to try and make a move for the lead. Let's see if he can do it. The Camaro of Ricky Hart Jr., the Mustang of Nick Nickerson. Both at the front, trying to make something happen. Lap 31 of 125. Nickerson a little bit loose there. Caused Platt to catch up. Now Platt right on the bumper of Nickerson. Ricky Hart Jr. pulling away a little bit. Nickerson maybe deciding just to hold off. It's only lap 32 of 125, and some of these guys could be feeling the side effects of worn tires at this point. If they aren't now, I'm sure that they will be soon. Nickerson especially. He's run all the way up through this field, starting in 9th position, now up to 2nd. Battling that far, his tires are definitely going to be fairly worn, as opposed to where Ricky Hart Jr., he hasn't had to do as much all race, hasn't had much battling. He's just ridden out front. You see Jonathan Platt in the 42 securely in 3rd place, and Willie Everham in 4th. And your number 19, Noss Luke Combs Camaro. Go back to 5th place. We got the 43 of Tyler Rowland, as the caution flag is going to be out. Not sure what that's going to be for. I would assume it's going to be for Brandon Jackson. Now listed as 1 lap down. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened with him. Looks like he just got loose going into the corner and spun around. Jackson, I believe he was running in 5th or 6th position, somewhere up front. Just got loose and spun it around.
Some of these guys headed down pit road, put some tires on, possibly repair some of their damage. Got the 8 of Kevin Foster in, changing tires.
See, we've got Ricky Hart Jr., your leader in, Garrett Hall, Nick Nickerson, Willie Everham, James Healy, Tyler Rowland, Kevin Foster, Robert Mathis, Trey Ellis, Colin Bauer, and Terry Condis, as well as Wesley Fuller, just heading into pit road. Current leader is going to be Jonathan Platt. He did not pit. You're looking at Brandon Jackson right there, who was the cause of the caution, who went one lap down, trying to get his car turned back around. But current leader Jonathan Platt in the number 4 car. Bill Harkins directly behind him, heading down to pit road now, relinquishing his second place position. A little bit of an advertisement real quick here while we're under caution. That number 11 car, Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, was designed by Evanwall Media. I am now selling paint schemes on my website. If you want to go check that out, evanwallmedia.com. You see Ricky Hart Jr. now listed in second position. Everyone here has pitted except for Jonathan Platt, your current leader, and Brandon Jackson, who spun on that caution. Everyone else, though, has pitted at least one time, as right now Trey Ellis is in the pits, coming out right now, as is Bill Harkins, Terry Condis, and Matt Crockett.
As we noticed, Jonathan Platt staying out there. I think he's going to have a difficult time. He's going to be on some extremely used tires, while the rest of the field is going to be on fresh sticker tires. I think he's trying to make the strategy work in his favor, where he gets a lot of cautions here at the end of the race and is able to utilize his 2 sets of tires towards the end of the race and be on newer tires when everybody else is on old tires here at the last end of the race.
Definitely going to be worth watching the number 4 car of Platt. It's going to be an interesting restart. See the number 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. He chose the outside last time. Platt with a good start, though. Leaving some guys behind on that start. Ricky Hart Jr. and the 4 of Platt battling for first position. Nick Nickerson in number 2 car securely in 3rd place. Ricky Hart Jr. with the new tires going to power by Platt on the outside. Sparks fly just barely into the wall a little bit for the number 4 car. Nick Nickerson now to the inside of the 4. I can imagine Platt going to be feeling the effects of the old tires and going to drop a few positions here. That may work out for him in the end, though. We'll have to watch out. See the number 19 of Willie Everham heading by Platt. Now the 8 of Kevin Foster, currently in 5th place. He'll be trying to make a move on the 4th placed car. The number 4 of Platt as well. Ricky Hart Jr., though, securely out in front. In your number 64, Camry. Nick Nickerson behind him. A little gap to the number 19 of Willie Everham. Platt now falling a little bit more. Kevin Foster in the number 8 looking to make a move. Platt's going to ride up high and give away 4th position to the number 8 of Foster. Jonathan Platt now all the way back to 5th position. A little bit of a gap, though, till we get back here to Garrett Hall and Wesley Fuller. Currently battling for 6th place. Backstreet Boys car stuck on top. See Backstreet Boys and NSYNC battling for 8th position. NSYNC is going to have it, though, as the 29 of Robert Mathis up to 6th position. Number 4 Kiss car of Trey Ellis now trying to get by the 35 of Wesley Fuller. He's got his inside as Mathis securely has 6th position. Trey Ellis will gain 7th now, as Wesley Fuller is going to be back to 8th. Tyler Rowland in the 43 diving inside of Fuller. And Rowland's going to have the pass. Rowland up to 8th position. Fuller back to 9th. Matt Crockett in the Lincoln Park car looking to make the pass. believe he's going to be able to do it. Matt Crockett, a number 10 Lincoln Park car, passing the number 13 Backstreet Boys Garrett Hall machine. Matt Crockett up to 10th. Garrett Hall all the way back down to 11th place. Back in front, Ricky Hart Jr., still your leader. Nick Nickerson on his tail, though. Nickerson just barely behind him, trying to make a move. It is now lap 49 of 125. Ricky Hart Jr., Nick Nickerson, and Willie Everham. Your top three right now. It's a little bit gap back to Kevin Foster in the number 8 car. Behind him, a fairly large gap to Robert Mathis, Tyler Rowland, and Jonathan Plott, who are battling there. Platt now back down to 8th position. You can see the 29 of Robert Mathis, the 43 of Tyler Rowland, and now the number 4 of Trey Ellis have all passed him. Just a reminder, all of them are on newer tires. See the number 4 car of Trey Ellis trying to get in front of the 43 of Tyler Rowland, pressuring him a little bit going into the corners. Backed off that time, though. You see Matt Crockett now looking inside of the number 4 car. The Lincoln Park Mustang trying to make the move on the inside. And he's going to be able to do it. Platt now all the way back to 9th position.
One thing we'll have to keep our eye on is leaders are coming up on lap traffic. Coming up here on Terry Condas and Bill Harkins as they look to get by.
Or you can see the nose off of the Terry Condas car as he heads to the outside, lets the leaders by. We'll see if Bill Harkins does the same in this next corner. Ricky Hart Jr. to the inside of Harkins, as is Nickerson.
Nickerson not able to take advantage of the lap traffic at all. Still remains right on his rear bumper, but still stalking.
I'm sure Nickerson knows that there's still a fairly good bit of this race left, and as long as he can see Ricky Hart Jr. that close, he'll be able to take advantage of him later. May just want to save the tires as much as he can while still staying up next to Ricky Hart Jr. for the time being, at least.
One driver that's really surprising me right now is Willie Everham. He's stayed with these leaders this whole run. He's really showing his stuff on these short tracks. It seems like this is what his bread and butter is. He seems like he's very comfortable on these short tracks.
Yeah, as he started in 3rd position, now currently running 3rd. Into the wall just a little bit there. But still able to keep up very well with Ricky Hart Jr. and Nick Nickerson. As you can see, there's a fairly large gap back to the number 8 car of Kevin Foster, who still is attempting to get by Terry Condas and Bill Harkins right now. Condas giving him the position. I'm sure Bill Harkins will now. Harkins into the wall just a little bit. Not too bad, though. Just a little bitty scrape. That's nothing at a short track like this.
I think one thing to take note of here with Kevin Foster is he's very good long run. Very good in the long run. He likes to take care of his tires, and we'll see if that pays off for him on this long run. See if he can catch up to the leaders here, or eventually get up to the leaders here after this next pit stop.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he made some time up either during the pit stop or if there is another caution at some point. As you can see, the number 39 car of James Healy just went a lap down. 14 of Colin Bauer now going a lap down as well. Ricky Hart Jr. and Nick Nickerson managing the lap traffic very well, as well as Willie Everham having a little bit more trouble, but still able to handle it very well. At least those two cars.
Lap car's doing a very good job of getting out of the way of these leaders. They're very fast. Very big difference between the speed of and pace of the leaders and then the lap down cars. We got a caution out. Looks like Platt. Looks like those old tires definitely didn't pay off for him on this long run. Got into the wall there.
He definitely didn't. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened. Heading to an instant replay right now. Following the number, should be the number 42. Shows as the number 4 of Platt in the Busch car. Inside of the 35, Wesley Fuller. Battling side by side. Just got a little loose on the straightaway right there. That wasn't the accident, though. You can see he heads into the turn.
Looks like he wheel hopped a little bit. The rear tires broke traction and they just couldn't stop the car.
Just backed it up into the wall. Now listed as your first car 1 lap down in 11th position. So we have Kevin Foster, the first car on pit road, as is Wesley Fuller and the 13 of Garrett Hall. All on pit road right now. Only 3 drivers electing to head down into the pits right now.
One thing to add to the scorecard here is Colin Bauer getting the lucky dog. This is his first race with the league, and I believe getting a lucky dog here is keep his spirits up. I know going lap down early may get you a little bit down, but I think just being able to stay on the lead lap in these type of races is really big.
Yeah, we've already got a couple cars a lap down, so definitely very good of him to be able to keep on the lead lap. Now that he's run a little bit, maybe a little bit more comfortable, maybe a little bit easier for him to stay on the lead lap now, since that this is his first race with these guys. You see Platt now on pit road, finally getting some tires. 39 of James Healy also on pit road, as is 32 of Terry Condis. And Ricky Hart Jr. still your leader in the number 64 car. Lap 65 of 125 now. Ricky Hart Jr. up front, Nick Nickerson behind him, followed by Willie Everham. See Bill Harkins that you see right there is going to be 1 lap down. Or 3 laps down, I'm sorry. In 4th position is the 43 car of Tyler Rowland. In 5th, the 29 of Robert Mathis, the NSYNC Mustang. 6th, the number 4 car, the KISS Mustang of Trey Ellis. 7th, the Lincoln Park number 10 Mustang of Matt Crockett. 8th place, the number 8 Mustang of Kevin Foster. 9th place, the 35 Ricky Tanner car of Wesley Fuller. 10th place, the number 13 Backstreet Boys Mustang of Garrett Hall. 14th, the number 14 Beatles car of Colin Bauer. Now 1 lap down in 12th place. Sorry, 1 lap down in 12th place, the number 39 James Healy, Terry Condis, Jonathan Platt, and Bill Harkins. So we're getting ready to go back green. A little bit of a wheel spin there, I believe. But Ricky Hart Jr. out to a significant lead, able to dive down in front of Nick Nickerson. Tyler Rowland trying to work the outside, but Willie Everham trying to get him on the inside. Number 19, Everham able to do it side by side as they head onto the back stretch, or the front stretch, I'm sorry. And Rowland's going to pull it out on the outside. Rowland in 3rd position, Willie Everham in 4th. Ricky Hart Jr. battling with Nick Nickerson for the lead. Nickerson still riding in 2nd position, right behind Ricky Hart Jr., but not able to make a move. We go back a little bit. Oh, we got a trouble for the number 10 car of Matt Crockett. Into the wall. Caution is going to be out. See if we can rewind yet again. See what happened. 10 car of Matt Crockett battling for position. It's going to be Platt right next to him on the outside. See, now sitting on pit road. Unfortunate for the number 10 of Matt Crockett. Just got a little bit loose, I believe, and down into the inside wall. Right now, Crockett the only one on pit road. Robert Mathis heading to pit road right now in the NSYNC Mustang. Pitting from 10th position.
Some of these guys may be coming down the pit for their last set of tires. This might be the last set that they get before the end of the race. So they're trying to make them work here, as they should have about 53 laps to go in this race. Some notable drivers already have their last set of tires on. Kevin Foster, seems like a lot of the guys ahead of him don't have tires. He's the first one on new tires here in the pit sequence. So he's one to keep an eye on.
Terry Condis in the 32 car also on pit road, getting his pit service done. Matt Crockett spent a lot of time on pit road, currently listed in 15th position. Ricky Hart Jr., still your leader. Lap 73 of 125 here with the Bandit Reloaded Racing League. The Ring of Fire 125 at Martinsville. Ricky Hart Jr. yet again selecting the outside lane as he has every other time.
Usually I think he'd be more confident to restart on the low line, but it seems like he's able to get good enough jump that it doesn't seem to matter which line he's in on these restarts. He can usually take advantage by getting a good start here.
It definitely surprised me when he went to the outside line the first time, but it worked well for him, so it hadn't surprised me that he's gone back to it.
Yeah, certainly.
Up there on the outside, may be able to get the car straightened out a little bit quicker and get the jump easier than on the inside line.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if Nick Nickerson can take advantage of the situation here and get a good start and remain right beside of him all the way down into turn 1 and see if he can pull it off and remain on the inside, come out of 2.
See, the lights are off on the pace car now. That means the pace car will be heading down onto pit road. There he goes. The quick dive down onto pit road. We're watching the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. getting ready to restart lap 75 of 125 here at Martinsville. Ricky Hart Jr. is off. Nick Nickerson following closely behind, but not able to. He's going to fall in second place. Tyler Rowland and Willie Everham fighting for the third position. Rowland on the inside, Everham on the outside. Side by side as they head down the back stretch. Rowland going to dive into the turn. Everham pushing up a little bit, but still fighting back. As they head onto the back front stretch, still side by side for Rowland and Everham, fighting for third position. Rowland going to dive it in deep. Kevin Foster trying to make a move in fifth position, not able to get his nose in there good enough. So we have 3 wide back here.
Yeah, we had a couple cars get together there in 1 and 2. Oh, had they get together. Wesley Fuller going around.
35 around. 14 of Colin Bauer caught up in it. Let's go back, see if we can see what happened. You see the 35 of Wesley Fuller right here.
I think many guys trying to go for the same piece of real estate here.
A lot of contact with Trey Ellis.
Together in 1 and 2. Actually, it looks like he just got a little high, got on the marbles, and got it turned around. Collected our newcomer here of Colin Bauer.
There's definitely a lot of contact before, but I don't believe the contact led to the caution. You saw the 35 of Wesley Fuller and the 4 of Trey Ellis definitely banging on each other right before he went around. There you see the number 39 car of James Healy heading around the outside. The lucky dog going to get his lap back. Other drivers not on the lead lap is going to be the 13th position, number 32 car of Terry Condis that we saw run headfirst into the outside wall earlier. Going to be your only driver 1 lap down. 3 laps down, we have the 11 car of Bill Harkins, Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd Camaro. And 5 laps down, we have the 10 car of Matt Crockett, who's going to be in the pits again. You saw him get loose and head into the inside wall just a little bit earlier. Currently, the number 10 of Matt Crockett is your only car on pit road. Getting some tires right now, I do believe. As we get ready to go back green, I want to highlight Jonathan Platt real quick. His best lap of the session, a 19.445, currently has the best lap of the session out of all of the drivers, right now sitting in 7th position. You saw he tried to make his first set of tires last a little bit long, and that may have cost him. But he currently has the fastest lap out of anyone right now. Ricky Hart Jr. has the 2nd fastest lap with a 19.449. Just barely slower than Platt. But Ricky Hart Jr. is sitting in 1st position, and that's what really matters here. We'll see if Platt can work his way up from 7th in the closing stages of the race as the lights are off on the pace car. Ricky Hart Jr. yet again selecting the outside line, outside of the number 2 car of Nick Nickerson. Definitely 2 of the fastest cars here in the Bandit Reloaded Racing League, at least this season. We'll see if Ricky Hart Jr. can get the jump that he has the last couple of starts. He's off, Nickerson is off as well, but Ricky Hart Jr. with a really big jump. The 19 of Willie Everham trying to battle on the outside, battling the 2 of Nick Nickerson. Nickerson just making the inside line work, though. Roland now on the inside of Everham. Battle for 3rd position. Roland and Everham side by side. Onto the front stretch, diving down into turn 1. Roland's going to let Everham have the position. And there you see Platt all the way already up to 5th position and battling with Roland for 4th. Definitely made some moves on that restart. Now on the back bumper of Roland. A little bit of a bump there.
I think what you're saying there is on those fresh tires, he's trying to take advantage of all he can on these restarts.
Gave a little bit of a bump to Roland, saying, hey, I'm faster, let me get by. And he did it. Passed him on the outside on the back straightaway. Now trying to make a move on Willie Everham. Let's see if he can do it diving down into the corner. Platt right on the bumper of Everham.
You saw the back. We see the back panel ripped off of the back of Jonathan Platt. Aerodynamics don't seem to play a big of a role here. These cars run under 100 miles an hour for most of the laps, so aerodynamics not really very critical. The most critical thing on this is on these cars is mechanical grip, as we're seeing here with Jonathan Platt. He's making all he can here, getting up to the leaders here in 3rd place. Gets a little loose there, coming out of 4.
You see like he said, just barely over 100 miles an hour on the straightaways. One of, if not the smallest tracks that we're going to run here, Martinsville Speedway. Platt now catching up to Nickerson.
I think if Jonathan Platt here can keep it up, he should be able to get to the inside of here of Nick Nickerson for 2nd.
He's going to look to the inside right now, I believe. Diving down to the inside, Platt inside of Nickerson. making the pass for second position. He's going to have it. Now Jonathan Platt once again trying to catch up with Ricky Hart Jr. for the first position.
I think as we stay green here, one of the things to pay attention to is if we run to the end of this race under green, looks like Jonathan Platt has the tires to do it.
He definitely does, and he also has the experience of what it feels like to run your tires long, as he ran them long that first time. So as these tires goes on, he has a little bit more practice than anybody else does, I do believe. He's going to make the pass for the lead.
And he takes it.
He's going to have it. Nickerson also in front on the inside of Ricky Hart Jr., not able to make it work for him, though. It's Platt to the lead.
What I noticed with Jonathan Platt's line, he's giving it a big old arc into the turn, whereas some of the other drivers are driving in a little bit shallow, a little bit closer to that red and white line. He's able to float it out there, create a big arc, able to let the car roll through the center a little bit better than these guys right now.
Let's go ahead and ride on board with Platt here.
See him no more than 2 or 3 feet off of that red and white curving. He's able to get the power down. Gets a little bit loose on the 1. You'll have that. The car potentially will hop into 1. Potentially will hop into 3.
Platt now with a pretty big gap already on your leader, on your former leader of Ricky Hart Jr., your points leader in the number 64 car. Now the number 2 of Nickerson, still on the tail of the 64, trying to get past him.
What Jonathan Platt wants here is to see these guys battling for the second position. He wants to drive away.
See the number 19 of Willie Everham, still sticking strong in 4th position. Good run from him. Still able to keep up with your leaders, even though he's a little bit further back. 43, Tyler Rowland as well in the Chick-fil-A Mustang. Back here in 5th position. Number 8 of Kevin Foster in 6th. You have to go back a little bit further to find your number 4 of Trey Ellis, the Kiss Mustang, battling with the number 35 of Wesley Fuller. Fuller trying to make the pass for 7th. Behind Fuller, we got the 29 of Robert Mathis. You see the NSYNC car, and then in 10th, number 13 of Garrett Hall in the Backstreet Boys Mustang. Behind him, 11th position, number 14 of Colin Bauer. Still good run from him.
Seems like we've seen the boy band cars next to each other this whole race.
Yeah, they seem to be battling it out, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Currently sitting in 9th and 10th. Back a little bit further to 12th. We got the 39 of James Healy. Only car 1 lap down, the 32 of Terry Condis. Still without a nose on that car. The 14 is going to be around. Yellow flag out.
This is definitely going to shake up the strategy here. We only got 23 laps to go. Looks like he just got a bit loose on the brakes and turned it around here into 1.
Definitely unfortunate for him, but not losing too many positions. Only down 1 position actually, from 11th to 12th.
Yeah, it looks like he stayed on the lead lap, so he's still good. He's gonna come down, fix some damage, potentially put tires on if he's got them. Not sure if he has them, but he's gonna try and get this car fixed up and try and salvage a good finish tonight.
A little bit of damage to front end there of the 14, but nothing major. And since he was already toward the end of the lead lap, cars not losing much of a position, and even coming down pit road, not losing any positions here. So we got a couple drivers. Ricky Hart Jr. in the pits, as is Nick Nickerson, Kevin Foster, Jonathan Platt, Willie Everham, Tyler Rowland, Trey Ellis, Wesley Fuller, Colin Bauer, James Healy, Terry Condis. A lot of these guys on pit road. Current leader is going to be the number 29 car of Robert Mathis in the NSYNC, and of course right behind him, 13 of Garrett Hall in the Backstreet Boys car. Those two your current leaders. They have not pitted. Nick Nickerson out of pit road the quickest, currently sitting in 3rd position. He did just pit and got out the quickest. Platt right behind him, going to be sitting in 4th position in the number 4 car. And then Ricky Hart Jr. going to be down to 5th. So Nickerson beating Platt out of the pits. Nickerson going to be starting 3rd, Platt starting 4th.
That may be the key here on the final restart is track position. We've got Nick Nickerson down on the bottom, Ricky Hart Jr. there at 4th. He's going to be starting on the outside.
It'll be definitely interesting to watch the 29 of Robert Mathis and the 13 of Garrett Hall. Mathis, who's going to be starting on the pole, he pitted 26 laps ago. Garrett Hall starting in 2nd position, pitted a whole 41 laps ago.
Actually, what I meant to say, Jonathan Platt starting in 4th. Sorry about that. Looks like Ricky Hart Jr. will be restarting in the 5th spot. Let's see these guys make a move here on the restart.
Everybody behind the 29 and the 13, all of them have pitted this last lap. Now, whether they got tires or not, I don't have that information, but I do know that they have pitted more recently.
Yeah, look for guys like Nick Nickerson and Jonathan Platt that have the freshest tires here on the restart. Some of these guys up front may have a hard time keeping it on the bottom, and these guys may get into the back of them here on the restart, so we'll watch for some action here into turn 1.
See pace car diving down low. Backstreet Boys and NSYNC leading us to green here, lap 106 of 125. '29 of Robert Mathis leading us to green here. A big jump there, and the 4 of Platt up into
Platt.
2nd place.
Jonathan Platt got the restart he wanted. Oh, we got a caution here.
Caution already out again. We're not exactly sure who caused that one. Do you know, Brett?
I don't see any debris or anything. It might have been just wrong one on the restart here. Maybe somebody. Not sure if somebody jumped or not.
Let's see, looking at my standings, I'm showing that Kevin Foster gained some incident points during that restart. So let's see if we can go back. Could have been something with him.
Yeah, he was right in the middle of the pack there, so he might have gotten collected in something.
Gonna have to go back a little bit further. Where is it gonna be? At some point, I do believe. Oh, may have gone back a little bit too far, but I do believe it is gonna be that number 8 car of Kevin Foster causing the accident. Still under caution here, lap 109 of 125, so we'll see if we can find it. Here we go. Watching the number 8 of Kevin Foster. This was on your past restart. See the 43 of Tyler roll into the outside of him. A lot of moving and shaking in front of him. A little bit of a bump there from the 35 with Wesley
Turn
Fuller.
head on into the wall. It's never good. Never a good thing to be turned to the right going into a left-handed turn.
Number 8 now sitting in 12th position. So definitely losing a little bit of ground there. But fairly good for the 29 of Robert Mathis, who was able to hold the lead. I don't know if he'll be able to do it on this next restart, as he's going to have Jonathan Platt starting right next to him in the 4 car.
Yeah, we noticed previously that some of the leaders have been restarting on the outside. We'll see if Robert Mathis here chooses the bottom line, I believe. We'll see here if he actually sticks there.
Garrett Hall, who we saw starting in second position the last restart, has pitted this time by, so he will be back down to 11th place right now. Mathis choosing the inside, leaving the 4 of Platt to start on the outside. Nick Nickerson in the number 2 car will be starting in 3rd position. Ricky Hart Jr. in the 64, starting in 4th. Willie Everham in the 19, starting in 5th. And the 43 of Tyler Rowland in 6th.
Lights are out on the pace car.
They are, so that we will be going green this time by.
Get ready here for I think a 12-lap shootout here to the end.
Robert Mathis is going to try and get the jump here, but I would expect to see Platt in the lead soon.
Yep, keep an eye on Jonathan Platt as well as Ricky Hart Jr. here on the restart, so they can take advantage of the old tires.
Green flag is out and they're off. Mathis diving down into the first corner on the inside. Platt trying to work the outside of the 29. A little bit of contact there. Side by
Keep it
side.
there on the outside. As he dives into 3 on the outside, he gets the spot.
29 backs it up into the corner a little bit. Now we're 3 wide.
Oh, Ricky Hart Jr. gets squeezed into the wall. Our points leader is in the wall.
Big contact for him. Big contact for the 13 as well.
Big crash here in front straightaway.
A lot of drivers going to be involved in this one. Let's go back.
It's going to be detrimental here to our points leader. It's collected in this accident.
Follow along with Ricky Hart Jr. now. Gonna have a wide angle though. You see, I don't believe Robert Mathis knew that Ricky Hart Jr. was on the outside of him. The 13 and the 14 getting together, a little bit of contact with a 35. Good bit of drivers involved there. You see the front end hanging off the 14 of Colin Bauer. Really unfortunate for him, his first race. So we now have 10 laps to go. You see the 14 heading into the pits.
We'll have to see what Ricky Hart Jr. does here. He's got realigned here in the 7th spot after this big accident here. We'll have to see what he does, if he decides to pit or stays out here. He's got a little bit of damage, but I'm not sure if that's enough to warrant for him to be pitting here.
The aerodynamics is not that big of a deal here. He definitely has a fast car, so his best bet may just be to stay out and see what he can do in this quick little shootout. Terry Condis and Colin Bauer, your only drivers that have decided to head down pit road this caution. Is your leader still Jonathan Platt, Nick Nickerson in 2nd place, and Robert Mathis back down to 3rd.
We'll have to keep an eye on it here in the point standings. Nick Nickerson last week had some trouble on pit road, caused him to lose a few spots. This week we got Ricky Hart Jr. in the wall, causing him to lose a few spots. We'll see if we can. We'll see here if the championship closes up here at the end of this race.
Go through the field. Jonathan Platt starting in 1st, like we've said, followed by Nick Nickerson, Mathis, Everham, Rowland in 5th. 6th place, Ellis, Ricky Hart Jr., Healy, Foster, Fuller in 10th. In 11th place, we have the 13 of Garrett Hall, Bauer, Condis, Harkins, and Matt Crockett. Lights are out on the pace car. Platt gonna take the inside lane with Nick Nickerson to the outside of him. Pace car is going to get ready to dive down low here. Dive down onto pit lane.
Got a 7-lap shootout, 6-lap shootout here to the end.
Expect things to get a little dicey here. Let's go with a wide angle. We can see this whole field on this restart as they're going back green. Platt to the front. Nickerson right behind him. Mathis and Everham side by side, heading onto the backstretch. Everham going to have the advantage. They're starting to single file out Ricky Hart Jr. in 6th place. Fighting with the number 4 car of Trey Ellis right behind him. 43 of Tyler Rowland trying to take away 4th position from Robert Mathis. He's going to be able to do it. To the inside, we got somebody spinning. Garrett Hall down into the inside wall. The yellow flag is going to be out yet again. Let's head to an instant replay. Watching the number 13 car of Garrett Hall. See a little bit of contact there with Healy. Locked it up, and I don't believe he even got into the wall. Very lucky there.
It looks like 2 guys just going for the same real estate there.
Seems like that happens a lot here at Martinsville. There's not a lot of real estate to take up, so you end up going after somebody else's quite often. Ricky Hart Jr. worked his way up 2 positions, now sitting in 5th place. Definitely still working his way up. The quick little shootout here at the end of this race. He's definitely going to try and continue to notch another win into his win streak, but it's definitely going to be a whole lot tougher at the end of this race than it has been some of the others. As you can see Bill Harkins, the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon car, number 11. Is going to be your lucky dog. He was 2 laps down. He's now going to be 1 lap down. Yet again, if you like that paint scheme, evanwallmedia.com. Get your own custom paint schemes. And also, while we're under caution here, if you want to follow the Bandit Reloaded Racing League on Facebook, just look up Bandit Reloaded Racing League, or if you want to follow on Instagram at BRRL.iRacing. Lights are still on the pace car. Currently 3 laps to go.
We will be going into overtime here. I think we're going to have a green-white checkered, I believe. That's how it's done.
I was about to say, I'm assuming we're going to have a green-white checker here.
So we'll have another lap here as the lights stay on the pace car.
Go with another lap here at Martinsville tonight. Next week we're going to be at Darlington. It's going to be October 21st, 1 week from today, same time, same place on YouTube. We're going to be at Darlington. These guys, instead of music paint schemes next week, they're going to go with throwback paint schemes, of course, since it's going to be at Darlington. Definitely going to be a great race, very interesting. We'll see if Ricky Hart Jr. can hold on to the point lead, or if we're going to have some new contenders up front. We'll see that after this race, actually, but it'll be interesting to follow it in the next race. As you see, the lights are out on the pace car. Jonathan Platt going to lead us to green here, with Nickerson on his outside yet again.
A few things to analyze on this restart. We have to see which one of these leaders gets the jump, as Jonathan Platt leads them to the green.
Pace car's off, side by side, heading onto the front stretch. Platt's off, big jump for him. Nickerson going to be in 2nd place. Oh, they're around. 43
we got
and 2.
Tyler Rowland, Nick Nickerson in the wall.
32 of Terry Condis as well. Go back. Watch that again. 43 was trying to dive inside of Nickerson, but at the same time, Everham was trying to dive inside of the 43. Just into the race. Carnage here. Everybody going for the same real estate yet again. Let's watch it one more time here.
Let's see this in slow-mo. We'll see what kind of actions these guys take in the 1 and 2, see what kind of caused this whole thing. Looks like Tyler Rowland was coming down and Willie Everham wasn't having it, and we were both merged there going into turn 1.
It's definitely not going to be good for the number 2 car. 2 bad races in a row for him. He second in the point standings. He was very close to Ricky Hart Jr. before Las Vegas. Then after that penalty at Las Vegas, Ricky Hart Jr. jumped out in front a little bit.
We saw Ricky Hart Jr. go around earlier in the race. Now we got Nick Nickerson going to the back of the field. That's going to be another big hit in the points for Nick Nickerson.
It's going to be really unfortunate for him. Still should have a fast race car. Not much damage to it. If it is anything, shouldn't be anything that should prevent him from being able to work his way up through the field a little bit. But in this amount of laps, you can only go so far. You see Ricky Hart Jr. has worked his way all the way back up to 3rd with that little accident on the restart. So definitely some good luck for him. But Platt still out front in the number 4 Busch Light Mustang. In any future races, he will be the number 42 car. A little bit of problems with paint schemes before this race, though, so he is in the number 4 car. Willie Everham in the number 19 car. 2nd position. Good run for him. He stayed up front all day, stayed out of trouble. Started in 3rd.
After that big tangle here, we got Ricky Hart Jr. here in 3rd. He's trying to rebound. He's all the way up here in the 3rd place, trying to steal a win again.
Robert Mathis in 4th as well. So after that little skirmish at the front, some good luck for some of these guys. Ricky Hart Jr., Robert Mathis, Willie Everham. See Tyler Rowland and Terry Condis heading around the pace car.
See if Jonathan Platt can get the same jump he got the last time around.
All right, pace car's off. It's going to be Everham's first time starting on the front row. We'll see how it goes. 3 laps to go. Platt is off. Everham on the outside. Platt with the big jump. Ricky Hart Jr. diving down into the inside.
Got contact here down into 1 with a car going around.
Now Healy around. Caution's going to be out again as Healy gets turned around going into turn 1. Instant replay here watching Healy. Contact with the 14 of Bauer and the 35 of Fuller. Just going to be unlucky for him. Currently sitting in 8th position. Now down to 11th. I'm sorry. But Platt still out front. And I believe, is that going to be the end of the race, Brett?
I believe so. I think they are out of green-white checkers here.
Out of green-white checkers, so your winner going to be Jonathan Platt. Only your 3rd winner of the season. As Nick Nickerson has won 1-1 and Ricky Hart Jr. has won everything else. Good run from Ricky Hart Jr. to make it all the way back up to 2nd position. So we will still be interviewing him at the end of the race, but he didn't win it. Great run from Willie Everham as well. But Platt, your winner here tonight at Martinsville in the Ring of Fire 125 with the Bandit Reloaded Racing League. Real quick, before we get guys to interview, let's run down your race results. Jonathan Platt in the 42 car. Shows the 4 on screen, but listed as the number 42 car with your win. Ricky Hart Jr., your current points leader, finishing 2nd place. Willie Everham in the 19, finishing 3rd. Trey Ellis in the 4, finishing 4th. Robert Mathis in 5th. Wesley Fuller in 6th. Garrett Hall. Colin Bauer, your newcomer, in the 14 car, finishing in 8th position. Nick Nickerson in the 2 all the way down to 9th. The number 8 of Kevin Foster in 10th. In 11th place, the 11 car of Bill Harkins. 12th, the 43 of Tyler Rowland, followed by James Healy, Terry Condis, and Matt Crockett in 15th position, 4 laps down. So we're going to stay watching the number 42, looks like the number 4 of Jonathan Platt, while we'll see if we can get some guys in here to interview. So just 1 second, and Brett and I will be right back. All right, third place finisher, Willie Everham in the number 19 car. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
All right, great run from you there. Ran up front most of the race. What, started in 3rd, I believe, and you were able to stay up front. And with that little accident there at the end, able to pull out a 3rd place finish. Great job from you. How did that feel?
Man, it felt really good. Trying to follow Ricky and Nick there the whole run, and thought Platt was done there when he got spun out. So who knows where he came from, but man, he's tough to beat on these short tracks. But man, it was fun. Pretty cool race for Martinsville. I think it went pretty well. I mean, I know we had a lot of late race cautions there, but man, it was a good race. We had a lot of green flag runs and hopefully put on a good show.
I saw you up there on the front row at that last restart. What was kind of going through your head there on the last restart to see if you could possibly pull out a win?
Man, it was tough on the outside, and Jonathan's got these restarts so figured out. Just tried to beat him going into 1, and then Ricky got underneath me coming off 2, and then the caution flew. So I think I might have had a run off of Ricky off of 2, but again, I'm still thrilled to be 3rd. Pretty decent run. Had a few good runs this season, but this one caps it off, so hopefully we're getting better each week, and hopefully we can start contending for some wins here.
Is any sponsors you would like to thank after this fine 3rd place run?
I thank Busch Light and Nos Energy Drink. Pretty cool that Bill let me sponsor this race to do the music thing, so we got Luke Combs on the hood. And, I don't know, it's just a lot of fun, but man, can't thank Bill and Matt Crockett and these guys that put this show on, and you, Evan, that's come in here and broadcast this. I mean, I think we've been running the Bullet League for a while, and I think this is what people want to see. So, man, I can't thank everybody who does this enough. Congrats to Platt. Happy birthday to Max Crockett, Matt's son. So hopefully he had a good birthday. So, but just want to thank everybody, man.
All right, good job. Congrats on 3rd place tonight.
Sir.
Willie Everham.
All right, and finishing in 2nd position is the number 64 car of Ricky Hart Jr. Let's see, you weren't able to pull out the win this time. I bet it feels a little bit weird to be winding up in 2nd instead of 1st, doesn't it?
If you ain't 1st, you're last. I mean, I'm way back here in 2nd. These guys did a great job. John was up there. He had a hell of a strategy. I think I had something for him there on that 2nd restart. I think I could have got up there, but we had that late caution again. It was just caution flag after caution flag there at the end flying. But that's Martinsville. 2nd place, I'll take it. Yeah, can't say I didn't try.
For the driver formerly known as Ricky Bobby here in the Discord, what was kind of going through your mind there on that last restart? Your restart, I believe, 3rd, sitting there behind Jonathan Platt. What were you kind of expecting to go your way or possibly not go your way there on the last restart?
Well, at Martinsville, you're always worried about getting hit in the back. You're always worried about the guy in front of you or on top of you coming down on you. So I was just really on that last restart hoping that the rear tires would hook up. I hit the gas and they go. They did. By turn 1, I think I had them cleared. If not, definitely between 1 and 2, I had them cleared. I just didn't want to see that caution flag. That's what I was hoping for there at the end. Like, hey, just get up there. Don't let the caution flag fly. And I think I got something for him. I was on fresher tires. Really hate it for Nick. That sucks. He was right up there. I think all three of us could have battled for a win, and that would have been great. But yeah, I mean, great job by these guys, Evan Media, everybody, Materia Tattoo. You guys are doing a great job every week. I love watching this after the race. I'm going to throw it up and watch it in a couple of minutes. But yeah, great race, Martinsville. I thought I was going to do a lot worse, and I will gladly take a second place finish.
Wasn't a win, but congrats on second place finish here tonight, Ricky Hart Jr.
Thank you guys, and see you next week. Oh, and if he's watching, Rocco, one of my associates, hope you're feeling better. See you later the week.
We saw a couple of them guys up there in the chat in the YouTube.
You're still going to be strong up in the point standings. The number 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. is. And finally, we're going to get the number 42 car, or showed on screen as the number 4 car, of Jonathan Platt. First time in here racing with us. Saw him in the broadcast booth at Phoenix. Now first time on the racetrack and able to knock off Ricky Hart Jr. How's it feel first time in the car here with these guys and able to get a win?
Fortunately, I've had a lot of races with these guys. I know how to race these guys. Racing with these guys in this league is absolutely just a ton of fun. And, you know, I was kind of took a break off iRacing, and coming back and broadcasting that one single race with you just put the itch back in it. I had to come out and do it. And I guess we played Bounty Hunter today, and we tackled down the monster of the Bandit League.
Certainly. Going into this race, you had run a few races. You were even up here in the booth with me. How much practice would you say you had to put into this race to get where you were tonight?
I only used the 40-minute practice before the race. I figured I would have to play a strategy because I would say I'm pretty rusty. So I figured I had to play a strategy and try and outsmart these guys to even have a chance to gain track position. So I had a strategy in my head all night. I stuck to it. I even went a lap down at one point, sticking to that strategy because I basically spun out because I had such old tires. And I was able to get the lucky dog back with the new tires on the car, drove all the way back up to the lead with the new tires, and then gained all that track position directly back. Was able to come down the last, before we had all the caution at the end, but I was able to come down and get tires while in the lead. So, I mean, the strategy is absolutely what won me this deal. I mean, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have been finishing second or third to Ricky or Nick.
All right. Anybody else you would like to thank tonight?
Absolutely. I need to thank all the guys at Legacy Esports. Unfortunately, with it being not my normal paint scheme, you can't see Legacy Esports on it. I need to thank the guys from Legacy Esports. I need to thank Oculus Gaming Glasses, Bruzy, Racewares, Butt Kicker, all the guys at Legacy. I need to thank you guys for broadcasting, Bill, everything, Matt for all he does with this league, all the admins here. It was a ton of fun, man. I can't believe we won it.
Congratulations on your win here at the Ring of Fire 125 at Martinsville here with the Bandit Reloaded Racing League. That is Jonathan Platt, our winner.
Yes, sir. Congratulations to you, Jonathan. And thank you to everyone that is here watching. Thank you to Brett for being in the booth with me here as well. If we look at our schedule real quick, next week we're going to be at Darlington, like I said earlier. So be sure to come back, Evan Media. Watch us at Darlington with some throwback paint schemes on these cars. It ought to be a great time. Ought to be a whole lot of fun. So Evan Media on YouTube. Same time and place next week. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed. Y'all have a great night.